Hello everybody, this is Alakni. I am today doing a video on my first week's experience with Victor. And big old disclaimer, I'm not a pro. I am just a Tekken enjoyer. I'm a Tekken player. And this video is just my first week's experience with Victor and what I think about him. And I'm going to tell you like what his meta is. And I think you'll learn a couple of things if you are having a hard time with this guy's matchup. So let's get right into it here. I have a couple of notes that we'll go through here. So the first thing I wanted to go through with Victor, if you wanted to play him, you probably want to know what his punishes are. So we'll just go through those right now. So his first punish is going to be his 10 frame punish, was going to be his 1-1-2. This is going to be his 10 frame punish. It's going to be minus 12 on block, so you're going to want to just throw it out as a punish, not really out there by itself, because you're going to get punished by 1-1-2 if you get hit. So pretty good. It's got a good range on it. Okay, so the other one is going to be his 12 frame punish, was going to be 3-1+2. And I like this punish a lot. It's got super good range. And honestly, it just looks cool. Like he's got like, like a boxing stance. I like it. That's his 12 frame punish. It's going to be -9 on block. So you could kind of throw it out there. Just watch out. Make sure that they're not ducking because they're both highs. But yeah, throw it out there as your 12 frame punish. Another one of his punishes is going to be his up forward 1-1. Really good punish, leaves them on the ground. It doesn't leave them grounded, it just leaves them to where they have to stand up like right away. And it's got a cool trick to it, but I will get to that into that later. So remember up forward 1-1. It's actually a really good move. Okay. And that's his, again, his 13 frame punish. So up forward 1-1. It's going to be -14 on block. Okay. So his, let's see, his 14 frame punish is going to be forward 4-1. It's also a heat engager. And it's going to yield 36 damage, so that's actually really good. It's a heat engager, it's a 14 frame punish, and it leaves you like right in their face, because that's what heat engagers do. Super good. -4 on the second hit on block. So -4 on block, that's really good. It's a heat activator. And it also has a nice kind of use other than just a punish, so we'll get into that also a little bit later. Another one of his, or the last one of his punishes that I'll go into is his down forward 2. Generic, just down forward 2 punish, -14 on block, but as you can see, this has pretty good range to it. Right there, that was probably tip max range right there. And this will kind of be your main tool for launch punishing opponents that are -15 or more. And it's -14, so you won't get launched unless you're playing against a good, Brian or the Mishimas that could do electrics in 13. So, overall, really good move. And this is going to be like the one that you're going to do all your bread and butter combos with. Let's see here. So 60 damage. As you can see, it just mash out that last button there. So that's really good. So now his crouching punishers. Let's see. His 11 frame while standing is going to be his while standing 4. +5 on hit. So just, generic. Everybody has one. Really good. So if you're not punishing with anything while rising, you need to start punishing with this while rising, okay? -6 on block. Let's see. 6 on block. I had that, and then I didn't put it on my notes. All right, but anyway, so and then if you want to continue with the 13 frame punish, the game, if you go into the where is it here? Into the punishment training, it's going to suggest to do up forward 1-1 as his up forward 1-1 as his up forward 1-1 as his 13 frame punish. I personally don't like this punish that much because going from holding down or down back, which most of the time I hold down back, going up to up forward and then doing a punish seems kind of unnatural for me. But if you can do it, then do it. That's fine, obviously. But he also has another option for his 13 frames that is not suggested in this punishment training, which is his wall rising 1+2. Wall rising 1+2 leaves you -8. This leaves you -14. So I think because of that, it's a little better. And as an added bonus, if you land it, you can actually go into Perfumer stance. So if you have the presence of mind of getting the punish and going into Perfumer stance, then it gives you an option to be in your stance and do your mix that you're going to eventually want to do. So if you take anything away from this, just take away the wall rising 1+2 is actually better than the up forward 4-4 in my opinion. And then his wall standing 1, that's going to be his launcher. Now I've traditionally always played characters that have wall rising 2s as their launch punishers from crouching. So it took a lot of adjusting to get this done. I still every now and then throw out of instinct the wall rising 2, which doesn't do anything. It only does something on counter hit. Okay. So yeah, I mean those are all his punishers. So that's kind of the punishing section that I was going through. So overall, his punishing game I think is really great. He's got punishers for 10, 12, 13, 14, and 15 standing. So that's really good. So if you're like one of the people that likes to kind of sit back and wait till the point he hangs himself, he's a good character for you because I think he's got like pretty good tools as far as punishment goes. Let me take a sip of water here so we can get on to the next section. Okay, so the next section I wanted to talk about was his launchers. Okay, so his launchers. Of course, we already talked about down forward 2, -14 on block. Pretty good, generic. It'll give you his super easy bread and butter combo, and then you're going to get into like more difficult stuff. But I'm not a combo expert or anything. I don't, I just copy other people do that. There's always going to be combo tutorials out there, so go check them out. And he's got a couple of good ones already up. And he's pretty good. He's got pretty good combos, a lot of wall carry. Okay, so let's see. We got that down forward 2. So 4-4 2, 18 frames, -16 on block. You're going to be using this one of two ways. You're going to be using it as your long range whiff punish. So like if somebody whiffs like an electric in front of you, or like from pretty far away. As you can see, I'm in like range 3 here, and we're covering the whole screen. So that's really good punish. Let's see. His running 2. So that's 3 forwards and a 2. Really good. +5 on block, 16 frames, startup frame. And they made stuff in this game a lot easier. Running in this game a lot easier. And this is going to be your main tool for any kind of frame traps you want to do with this guy. So if you're looking for a frame trap, this is it. This is the move. while running 2, and that'll go into the next move that I'll be talking about. 1+2, 1+2 on counter hit gives you the crumble. So you can see he's like holding his stomach, and then you're gonna want to do your combo there. 66 damage for just the most easiest bread and butter combo you can think of. So that's going to be your 2 tools. You're going to be do running 2, and then you're going to do 1+2 as your frame trap setup. Let's see here. Up forward 4, 15. Going to be 15 frames. Going to be let's see, -19 on block. And this kind of wastes your first screw, so you're gonna have to adjust your combo for that. So yeah, you're gonna adjust that combo there because you're gonna be wasting your first screw with that. Up forward 4, I mean, really good though. It's just, I would say, pseudo hop kick. And the only reason I call it a pseudo hop kick is because it really is a hop kick, but it's a really punishable hop kick. It's more like a Lars is like his where he yells out like "Drea." Yeah, that's what I relate it to mostly because he doesn't do this second that little second animation the when it doesn't hit, as you saw. See. Anyway, so you get launched straight out of that. So be careful using that. You're gonna get launched. And then his down back 4 -26. 20 frame on startup, so it's kind of a slow starter. I use it at like a longer range, or I try to use it at a longer range. I will be using it. I will get caught up using this sometimes because people refuse to duck, and then I'll get wrecked because it's -26 on block. So be very careful of how to use this. Don't follow my footsteps. Be better. But yeah, this is his low, and it's really really long range. And honestly, at 20 frames, it's pretty freaking fast. I was watching FDX last night, and it said that universally, it's known to be like 25 frames as like the most reactable. And so, but you'll see that this will become more reactable the more you see it. I feel like because it's kind of it kind of has a animation that a lot of other snake ages follow, where they kind of get down on both hands and throw a leg out. So I think more over time you'll be able to see this more. Okay, but anyway, oh, and then the biggest part of it, obviously, on counter hit, it gives you a great combo. Or not minus, it gives you 77 damage, and as you can see, really good wall carry, even though Tekken has like huge walls. Hola, Cazador, how are you? ¿Cómo estás? Estoy haciendo un video de cómo contrarrestar o de mis primeras semanas aquí con Victor. I'm also live, guys, while I'm doing this, so if you follow me on Elacne on Twitch, that'd be great. I had one of my viewers come in. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, so down back 4, pretty good. $77 damage, so that does pretty good. Okay, so those are his launchers there. Let's see here. So the next thing I was going to talk about is his stances. So he has 2 stances. He has lie stance. This is his lie stance, where he kind of looks like Raven a little bit. And from his stance, you'll see that he has a bunch of options. So let's go through those. Okay. So on lie stance, you could do 1-1. Okay. You can do 2, which is -7. It's a mid. 1-1. I was -14. and it's a mid. So it's basically this, but in stance. So up forward 4, up forward 1 1, up forward 1 1. So it's basically the same thing in stance. Then he just has his regular 2. And then he also has his down 2, which is just a cool looking move. And as you can see, he's actually still in stance after he does it. So you get another chance at another mix here. Okay. And then he's got down 4-2. Down 4-2. As you can see, it's a low high. The really good thing about this is that the low is -13, so it's it's okay. But the whole point is to try to get them to duck right, and then you can actually confirm it with the 2. So as you can see, I keep going back into stance. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And then you can confirm it with the 2. So 4-2, and then he's got his armor. And this is what you're going to want to use if people are pressing those crazy buttons on you when you get into stance. You want to try to condition them to maybe not press. Okay, so that's one thing. Another thing, let's see here. Another move is going to be his up 1+2. As you can see, it's a high, and then he gets right in your face after that. I don't really use this move. I haven't found a use for it yet. Okay, then he has down 1+2, which is going to be your super heavy low, -29. So it's a big threat, but once people block it, you're going to get launched. So use it sparingly. It does track, I think, to the right side, which is for him, it's to the foreground. Or to the background, I'm sorry. And it does hit grounded, so that's good. Oh yeah, I guess this hits grounded, and then that hits grounded as well. And then his other move he's got on here is 1-2-2, 1-2-2, and so those are his moves on stand. -18 on block, so you're gonna get super duper launched on that. So this is the stuff on his stance, okay? And then he's got Perfumer stance. That could be accessed by doing forward 3. Forward 3. So in my opinion, a lot of people love light stance, but I think his most useful stance is actually Perfumer stance. And this is why. Okay. So if you go into Perfumer stance, he has Perfumer stance 1, which is a low -13. He has Perfumer stance 4, which is a tracking high that does 16. And on counter hit, it does give you 14 frame. Basically this, but in stance. So basically back 4, but in stance. So it's a high tracking that gives you on counter hit a 14 frame move. So AKA this guy right here, forward 4-1. And then he's got slide 2-2-1. And lie 2-2 1+2. So that's his mix-up, right? -13 on 1, -1 on 1, but it is a high, so you can duck it if they're getting predictable with it. And then let's see, he's got light stance 3. That's a heat engager, and it's mid, I believe, yes. Pretty good little move. It has multiple uses, good for pressure, and obviously you're not going to get launched. So if you just want to go into a lie, into a safe position, this is the one that you want to do. And then here comes another one. In my opinion, probably one of the most important ones is going to be 1+2. So lie stance 1+2. So forward 3, 1+2. This is going to give you. This is going to be the only stance move out of all his, like, what is it, like 12 or 13 that I've shown you, that it's going to give you some significant plus frames, right? So if you're looking to make this character mix up with your stances, that's going to be the move you use. And then last but not least, and probably one of really worth noting, is lie 2-2, because it leaves you, or I'm sorry, perfumer into 2-2, because it leaves you in lie stance. Okay, so those are his stances, right? And the moves off his stances. Okay, so now this is what we're going to talk about next. Is going to be, oh, and I should have, and I should have covered this too. Okay, so tracking moves, up forward 2, really good. 19 frame, -9. So if you're applying this the pressure setup with running 3 or running 2. Eventually, you're going to see people start sidestepping that, right? So what you do is you run up and then up forward 2. So they stop doing the sidestep. And then another one is going to be back 4 that we talked about. It's going to be back 4. It's going to be your high tracking move. On counter hit, it's going to give you a 14 frame move. AKA your forward 4-1, okay? And then 2-2. Much like Kunimitsu's, this tracks to both sides. So yeah, okay. So that's all his moves, right? That's like his I think his moves that you should know, and you will know as long as you play him some. So now this is kind of the most important part of the video here. So if you stuck around this long, I appreciate you. This is what I think I found out about week 1 about Victor and his meta, and why I, like on other people, think that he's not as great as people think he is. I think he's really cheesy is what he is, okay? So so let's go through some of his stuff, okay? So look, so first thing I wanted to know is that linear moves in Tekken are not that great, and Victor has a lot of linear moves. Running 2, linear. Forward 2, linear. Up forward 4, linear. All his launchers are linear moves. It's really easy to sidestep him, is what I'm trying to say. Almost all the launchers that I talked about are linear moves, so you can sidestep them at some point. 1+2, I think, is probably the least linear, but you have to be right in their face, and it has to counter hit for them to get hit, okay? Another thing is that I think people are getting confused about his stances. A lot of people what they're trying to do is that they're trying to get into his stance to apply his mix-up in the wrong way. And so, like, if you're having trouble getting past, like getting into the red ranks, I guarantee you it's because of this right here. It's because of this. You're trying to get into his stance like this or like this. Okay? Now, both of these moves are the gun is high. And you could see that the gun is high. That it's coming, that it's high. So a lot of people start ducking it. And not only that, let's see, on hit, you're +4, but right here you can get pressed on. Okay. Let's go on block. Let's do on block. So -3 into stance, you're almost always going to get launched, or they're gonna duck the second hit. So let's just have Let's do this one. Okay. Okay. So let's see here. See? Launch. Oops. Launch. Launch. So if you're trying to get into stance that way, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not the way to do it, man. It's you'll catch people off guard sometimes, but it's not gonna carry you into where you want to be, like rank wise, okay? Because both of those are high, and both of them are negative, and above all else, they're all interruptible. You can not the move itself, but the stance. So after so let's say I do the stance, right? One second. Something in my eye. Okay, so let's try to record this. Hey, calm down, bro. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. I had something in my eye. Okay, so let's continue then. So here's play. See, you're left with one option, which is the armor move. And even it. See, if people just do one jab, they can get out of it. They don't have to commit to the second jab. And I bet you, let me see. Yeah, see, you could sidestep his stance stuff. See? So not only are you like telegraphing you're getting into stands, you can also get punished by kind of just doing it, you know. So that's what you're gonna find, and the more you play this, and the more you play with Victor, you're gonna find out that, oh my god, these ways of getting into stands are just horrid. They're not any good. Because I keep getting interrupted out of them. People keep pressing. You're gonna find out that either people keep pressing, people keep interrupting in the middle of that where you're trying to be your mix-up, and you're just not gonna have a good time. Okay, so let's put these to not set, and then we're gonna go into other ways, right? So that's why I valued Perfumer stance a lot more when doing this, because Perfumer stance, you can just get into stance quickly, and as you'll see here soon, you will be able to kind of apply that mix-up that you want to play with a lot better with Perfumer than you are with this light stance stuff. Okay. Okay. So sorry about that. I had something in my eye. I had to go get it off. But anyway, and my eye's still hurting a little bit. It's burning. I think it's because my lotion I put some lotion on my face, and I think it's running down into my eye now. But anyway, all right. So recap, right? This to get into stance, and this to get into stance, not that great. Instead, you're going to be using these a lot in combos. You see right there? It's like the first thing I did, right? And then once you get into the good combos, you're actually not even going to get into stance that way. You're going to get into stance a totally different way, which you'll see here in a moment. So yeah, so if you're trying to use these as mix-ups, I would say try to abandon those as much as you can. To be honest, you will catch people. You will catch people with this one sometimes if they're really not ready. But once you get into the higher ranks, like forget it. Okay. So let's mention a couple things then. Here in light stance, one thing I didn't mention is that he could do something really cool. And actually, you could do something even cooler. So you remember this? Oh, 412. Remember I said earlier that this has a cool trick? Well, here's your trick. Watch. You want to get into light stance a lot better? Boom, light stance right there. You're not telegraphing it. You can mix it up, and now you're in light stance. So much better. So much better to get into light stance this way. And once you're in light stance, you could do it again. And the way you do it is you do the up, forward, 1-1, and then you, right as you input the second one, you hold down. See? So, sorry, I accidentally hit that button there. So now you're in stance. So this is going to be, in my opinion, the best way to get into light stance if you want to apply the light stance mix-up. Because you could either finish the 4-4 string, or I'm sorry, the 1-1 string, the up forward 1-1 string, or you can mix it up and get into stance, and then you could do it again. And you're thinking, well, why? Why would you do it again? Because this throws off. It's all about the rhythm of things, right? So, like, if you're doing stuff with a stance character, you want to get into a rhythm of things, right? You want to be able to get into your stance and apply your mix-up the best way. And if you're just doing this straight into another one, or straight into this, or whatever you want it to be, right? Then you're making the rhythm kind of like a dance, like you kind of becoming a little predictable. Like, oh, okay, he's in stance now. Boom, instant mix-up. So I got to be ready for the mix-up. But if you do this instead, if you do that in between all your mix-ups, then that rhythm is gonna get thrown off, and you're gonna be at your own rhythm, and that's where you want to be, right? You want to be in the pocket of your own rhythm, so that you're playing your game and not theirs, right? And then that way, then you could really apply your mix-ups. Do this guy, do it again, do another load, do it again, boom. Because if you notice in light stance, both in light and perfumer stance, you're not gonna get a combo in any way anyway, right? So all these mix-ups opportunities that you're taking, they're all gonna be risky. And your risk reward isn't gonna be that great. What did we discuss? That this is like minus 26, and that's where you're getting to duck with. You are going to get, if they duck on you one time, you're gonna have to land this like 5 times for it to be worth your while. That's what I'm saying. I don't think this whole stance thing with him is that great. It's good for combos and it's good for like getting these last hits in or setting stuff up. But as far as like relying on that to be your winning condition, I don't think that's where it's at. Another thing is getting into stance this way is just going to be a lot more useful for you. Another way to get into stance that I totally just missed, but this right here, your gun. People are already ducking this. Like, they're learning that this is a high. And if you're like me, you're terrible at inputting quarter circle forwards. But anyway, that's probably the only other way I could think of doing a really nice stance transition. So that's good. And then the other way to get into live stance is Perfumer 2-2. Right? This is you're gonna want to be doing this instead of instead of this one and this one. I can't stress how bad these two are. This one even worse. Like this one, You'll catch people sometimes with it. But anyway, so that's what I think about Perfumer stance and how to get into it. So don't forget, if you get anything out of this video, try Perfumer stance. Try to get into the stance instead of getting it into it like this or like this. Try doing Perfumer 2-2. That'll get you into lie, or try to doing up forward 1-1, cancel and cancel down into lie. Okay. And then lastly, the gun. Gosh, why is my input just so garbage? Jesus Christ. I can't believe it. I don't know why I'm being so ass at that, but yeah. So I think, like I said, the value of lie stance, not that great in my opinion. I think it's great for combos. You know, if you start a combo, it's great for combos. Uh, you know, that has pretty good wall carry right there. You'll be at the wall instantly in those smaller maps. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the value. If you have a lot of um, putting into getting into stance a lot, the best way of doing it is this right here, or Perfumer 2-2. Because with Perfumer 2-2, you could finish it, you know, like that if they're anticipating you switching into stance. Now Perfumer, Perfumer I think is a little better if you want to be stance heavy because of this low and because of this mid. This low, First of all, this low you're going to be using for all kinds of combos when you get into it, right? So like this right here, if I could do it right. Boom, right there. That's the first thing you do. And believe it or not, there's going to be a lot of combos that's what you're going to start with. Like this one right here. And this is a super important combo. You know, 77 damage on running 2, super great. So a lot more use. And then this right here, it's already set. All right. As you can see, plus 4. So if you see people mashing, that means you can get a 14 frame move in there, which is our good old friend forward 4-1. So yeah, so I mean, as far as stances go, I think that's my take on stances. I think getting into stance, again, into lie, up forward, 1 down, hold down. You know, really good. Up forward 1-1, and then hold down the second one. Hold the arrow down, not like see. You can see my inputs. Watch. See. Yeah, so hold that down. That's probably the best way of getting into that light stance. And then Perfumer. So Perfumer, I think another reason Perfumer was also better is because there's more ways of getting into Perfumer with it. You could do 2-1 hold forward into Perfumer, which means that you could get into light stance better, right? Now you're in light stance better. So 2-1. So I guess before I get off track, this is the next section. Good moves that he has, or good strings that he has. 2-1. 2-1 by itself, not so hot. The value in it is that you could go into Perfumer. Back 1, which is even better. Back 1 forward into Perfumer, even better. And then you could go into lie as well. Or you could apply your mix-up of this, or that. Okay. So those are both great moves to get into Perfumer. Let me see here. Yeah, so back one to get into Perfumer is great. 2-1 into Perfumer, great. I think those moves are great. Another good move that maybe is not the greatest, but I like using it, is back 3-1, and so back three, as you can see, man, this is, we're controlling space here. So that's kind of, and at the end of the day, that's where this character excels, is range control. I think his 2-3 range is really good, because he has all kinds of tools to kind of keep you at bay, punish you. That's a full screen punish, and he has moves like this right here. Forward 1+2, really good. Keeping space. It also hits grounded opponents. So like if you see somebody that's like really in there, and staying on the floor, obviously this is the one. This is what you want to use, down 1+2, which is the best. But if they're like rolling, or they're like in an Oki situation, throwing this out has seemed to work pretty well for me. At least to getting to Mighty Ruler. I haven't really gone up any further than Mighty Ruler. I tried a little bit last night, but I honestly wasn't feeling it. Let's see what else. Let's see. Back 3-1. Yep, sorry, did that one. 4-3-2. Really good combo ender at the wall. And then forward 4-2. So this is the mix-up you're going to want to get into. So remember I said this has another, this move forward 4-1 has kind of like a little trick. Well, the trick is that people are going to start ducking the second hit. So you're going to want to mix it with forward 4-2. Okay. So forward 4-2. Back 1-2, really good. Second hit gives you, well, first of all, this back one, it reminds me of like a boxer. You ever seen boxers trying to do damage to the body? And if you catch them pressing after this, you could do the 2, and then the 2 will give you a little like see. I see back 4-2, back 2-1. 1-3, high low. This is good for round enders. I like that a lot. I already talked about 2-1 forward into live stand, back 2-1, or back 1-2. His down forward one's really good. How could I forget his down forward one? I expect you guys, well, I don't expect you, but hopefully you guys know the importance of a down forward one in Tekken. If not, there's tons of videos with actual pros. Like I said, my third disclaimer, I'm not a pro of any kind, so everything that I'm experiencing here is just telling you how I feel about this guy in first week. So yeah, I mean, those are all good moves too. He excels in range control in my opinion. So you're gonna, like, right here, it's gonna be like his sweet spot, right? Because right here you're gonna be applying his running 2 pressure, and even closer than that. If you get it right in their face, that's really where you want to get it. Because you're gonna do let's see. Yeah, so I mean, let's see here. Maybe if I set this up to counter hit. See? No matter what they do, they're gonna get hit by that. Like even if they throw out a jab. So that's gonna be your kind of thing, is you're gonna be applying this pressure, and then you're going to be keeping them away with this guy, or punishing with this guy, or even this guy. Got really good range. So you're gonna want to play this range with him right here. as far as like the whole stance things go, if you're in it for getting into that 50-50, then I showed you a couple of ways that you can get into his stance that are a lot more reliable than his down forward 4-2 and 2-2-2. Um, Overall, I think people are going to figure out Victor a lot sooner than like Reina and possibly June. I think June she's looking pretty powerful right now. Um, but I think out of the four characters that are in right now, that are like the new characters, I think Reina is the strongest, and Azucena is second, close second, and then June and Victor are probably, in my opinion, the weakest, and then Victor being the last one. And I don't know if that's because I played him and I understand him a lot better now that I feel like he's weak, but I feel like a lot of his stuff is kind of a lot of cheese and a lot of gimmick and a lot of smoke and mirrors. And then once you get in there and actually learn what you're doing, I think he's a lot easier to kind of to kind of figure out, because like once you figure out that a lot of his stuff and his repertoire of stances is kind of weak, along with the fact that to get into his stance you have to work a little harder, um, I think that those two things are kind of going to really be the determining factors of where this character lands as far as like popularity and how people like him. But anyway, hopefully you learned a couple of things here. If you have any questions, please leave them on the comments below. Thank you very much, and have a good rest of your day, guys.